Very good.
Thank you. So I'll keep my timer also. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our respected chief guest. So the topic which I have selected is competition and a competitor analysis. So the reason why I selected is basically to tell about a competitor. Some of you might have seen a WhatsApp which I shared a few weeks ago. It was about the Toastmasters, St. Mary's Toastmasters open session. So I think Faisal and somebody else, Edwin told that they'll be coming, but I was the only person who went there. So I wish to share a little about what's happening over there, and that's an analysis of the competitor. So before that, I would like to talk a bit about competition. So what is competition? So we all hear a lot about competition. There is competition everywhere, in schools, in your workplace, or wherever. So when I check the dictionary meaning, so competition means a rivalry or a fight between two individuals, two animals, different species of animals, organizations, governments, or whatsoever. And there they say that it's in most cases and one person is taking advantage of the other person. So it's a win-lose situation. And many times I will say, knowingly or unknowingly, that is the case. But this is a necessary, an unavoidable, a necessary evil, I will say. So if there was no competition, we would not have been what we are now. We would have been the caveman even now. Or even the theory of evolution, Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest, is based on competition. But we have to be really careful about competition. Many times we feel that companies are competing against each other. But that may not be the case in many cases. For example, I'll take the example of Jopen and Murugan. Toppil Jopen and Puli Murugan. Okay, so we think that there is a rivalry between Lal and Mammootty, but that may not be the case. And unfortunately, the poor people are spending their hard-earned money to make these guys richer. Okay, and even if you take the example of Coca-Cola and Pepsi, so there is a rivalry between these groups. But I've read long ago, back in India, they had a non-poaching agreement. That means Coca-Cola will not hire an employee of Pepsi and vice versa. So many times we should be aware what's happening. So first and foremost, we cannot avoid competition, and it is in many cases it's not destructive also. There is something called competition within ourselves, isn't it? So even this morning, you had the fatigue, you had the feeling to sleep longer, but you thought, why not get up? So there you are competing against yourself, which is in most cases good. But I will tell you a bad side of it. I will say that people commit suicide because of this. So there is a competition between your mind and your decision to end your life. That's also competition. So be aware. Be aware of the current situation and analyze different options, and you have to make wise decisions to cope with competition. So that is basically about competition what I would like to say as an introduction. And now I'll go to the program I attended in St. Mary's Catholic Church last week. So what I would like you to tell is, never miss such an opportunity if it's a free session and if it's open to all. So when I went there, something what I liked most is their conscience of time. They never waited for anybody and they were strict on time. And the crowd, the members, I will say the attendance was really good. But more than the members, there was at least 3 times more guests. And one reason what I will say is that they put a banner in the church and you had a lot of people coming to the church. And on the day that I went, I saw that they have attached a small piece of paper which was typed the entry is free. So they managed to get some people to attend the program. So that's a good thing. So they did the marketing well, so that they were able to attract people. And about the participants, mostly it was people who used to come to the church, I will agree. But I saw 2 locals and 3 abaya wearing Arabic women. And nationality too, I will say, was not restricted to India. We cannot expect that. I'm just telling you what's happened over there. I'm not telling that we should try for that. And many Africans, Filipinos, and people from different cultural and national backgrounds. So, next, about the quality of the presenters. I will say some were really doing a good presentation. But I don't mean to say that they were extraordinary. They were just normal people like us. But something which I liked was the MC and the role she had taken over. So initially, as soon as she came, she introduced herself and she was giving some guidelines what is expected from the members. So she was very strict about mobiles, turning off the mobiles, and in between when somebody's mobile was ringing, she politely asked that person to leave. Next, in the general guidelines which we shared is something which we can think about partly, like about they discourage small children to come over there. But I think I don't know how practical it is, because many of us, especially ladies, have got children, so you may have to bring your children. But if in case the children are getting disturbed, it's always better to take the children out of the room so that the program goes uninterrupted. Then, about something which I liked the most was before every role player was another person who is going to be the evaluator. I think they had a talk between each other before that, maybe the previous day or in the previous days. And the evaluator first gave a 1-minute speech about what is expected from this person. And after the speech, the chits were distributed among the people to give their comments about the speaker. So I think that's a very good thing, because what happens is, in case, I think Anulal started the speech today, no? His was the first session. So if there is one more speaker after me, so if you are asked to give the evaluation about Anulal, which happened many minutes ago, it's likely that people forget the good points and the bad points of Anulal. So this is something which I liked a lot over there. And then came what came next was about the dressing sense of the people who came over there to do the role plays. Excuse me for this, what I'm wearing today, because I started my day at 4 o'clock. I went to Ras Al Khaimah, I had a site visit, and I had to rush straight from Ras Al Khaimah. So they were all dressed very well. And next, I forgot to mention about a very old lady who was doing, who was explaining one word. Okay, so she was, I think she'll be in her 60s, a very old lady. I think from the way she speaks that she is an English teacher. So she was talking about the word eloquent and eloquently. And she was talking about that particular word for about 5 to 10 minutes, asking people to use that word in examples. And I think that was something good, what we can think about in our sessions too. But for that you should have a really good command of English. But I think we should think about that. Then so next came the table topics. So the table topics too, I found it very interesting. 3 people, I don't know whether they were predetermined or it was random. People were called and they were given small items. So one example was a skipping rope given to a girl, and she was asked to talk about the skipping rope for 3 minutes. She did she didn't get any chance for preparations. So that is in a way giving stress, so that how a person is reacting to the stress, they just wanted to know. So that was the next session. And finally, again regarding the time, one person spoke so well, but he was talking, and they were giving warning bells. still he didn't talk. And I thought that this man is going to be the best performer of the day. But that MC disqualified that person because he exceeded his time limit. So time was also given a top priority. So this was what I experienced. And as you said, we should all not miss such opportunities. I was quite silent. I did not open my mouth at all over there. Was just observing. And we should think about different marketing strategies. So a competitor analysis is always good, so that you will understand the strengths, weakness, and then we can explore about the opportunities and the possible threats. As everybody knows, Toastmasters is a global organization. Okay, so we are nowhere near to it. But as I said, we don't have to feel inferior at all, because the speakers, I will say, was not so superior to us. And again, before I conclude, I will conclude with an example. I live near to the Lulu village. Okay, so Lulu, you will get everything. I go for shopping frequently in Lulu village. But there is a small grocery just meters away from Lulu village. And if I go there, every day there is too much rush. I don't know why, but I will say that grocery man will be gaining more per dirham he invested as compared to Yusuf Ali. Okay, so that's what I've noticed over there. So, like Jimmy wanted to talk about his Singapore trip. I just thought that I will share this. What I experienced over there, and I added a little bit about the competitiveness in the beginning, so as to give an example. So I hope you enjoyed the program and enjoyed my talk. And let's enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you so much.